on my laptop, which is going from my other phone, is horrific this morning. But the internet from this phone, which is the Wi-Fi, the rural broadband that Vodafone offer, which we've been using the last couple of weeks, is pretty good. Let me know what the audio is like, and of course the video quality as well. Morning, Holly. Just trying to get the live stream set up. Just I need to see what's going on. So slow. There we go. Boom. Right, who have we got in the workshop this morning? We have Purple Monkey 1974. Good morning, sir. Welcome back to the workshop. First one through the door. Simon Raw, morning, Andy and crew. Early today. Yes, my sincere apologies. I forgot to mention because I had no idea. Of course, the clocks have changed again. So, got me out of bed an hour earlier, and hence why I've probably sound a bit groggy and a bit knackered, to be honest. No, we don't want that. Thank you. Pick a time, remind me tomorrow. Thank you very much. Right. Who else have we got? John Dwyer. Morning, Andy. You're late or I'm early. What's the pie today? No. I'm early, but you're not late. You're early as well. We're all early because it's an hour earlier. Officially, it's 8:30 in the morning Sunday, right? But every cell in my body is telling me it's only 7:30. Honestly, why do they bother, really? Right, picture looks pretty good. Quite happy with that. Now then, JJ. Morning, Andy and crew. Good morning, JJ. Kill Switch BB. Hi, Andy and crew. Kill Switch is on board. Welcome back, mate. It's good to see you. Simon, thought I had time for a Scanner Danner video before the stream. Nah, caught you out. Got you back reeled you back into the Andy Mechanic YouTube channel, Simon. Good job. Oh, honestly, whenever somebody mentions your name now, or that message that you sent me yesterday about the main seal on that caliper that had swollen, as ridiculous as it sounds, the first thing that springs to mind and is sort of this, you know. And those that were here on that's weird, isn't it? Those that were here on last week's live stream and watched all of it will know exactly what we're talking about. Those that weren't there at the time, they won't know. And they're going to be thinking, what the hell? Simon will tell you all about it if he's feeling that way inclined. Right. Got you back, mate. Okay, where do we get to? Purple Monkey 1974. Clocks change end of October in England. I don't know. No, I have no idea. I'm in New Zealand and I just don't know what's going on. Too much happening. Long day yesterday. Mike Bazanski. Good morning, all. Almost missed it with the time change. Well, if you were aware of the time change, Mike, you did a far better job than me. Now, you might be wondering why we've got a slightly different view of the workshop, and that's because Mrs. Mechanic, I can turn the camera out a bit. Look, Mrs. Mechanic was on the pillar drill yesterday, the little one on the special Mrs. Mechanic lowered shelf thingy, and we've been. I picked up the steel. When was it? Thursday afternoon it was. All the laser cutting again. Not that we've started on the 450 stuff. That's the model that they fit. We've sort of got back to doing work on the other batch that we're doing at the moment, because that's sort of been in abeyance for a while. We had lots of other stuff going on, so it's a long weekend here in New Zealand. We've got tomorrow is a bank holiday, which obviously is in remembrance. Is it to the yes to the Queen? They've given us an extra day to celebrate her life, basically, and reflect upon 70 years of reign, which is pretty good. However, I will be in the workshop and we'll be smashing out some more of these plates, no doubt. Today I have got In fact, I'll show you later on, but I've got lots and lots of slit disking to do. We decided not to use the plasma cutter because the cleanup time is too great. And it's all about the time. Everything is about the time taken to do stuff when you're doing large batches like this. And it proved easier. Shall I show you now? I'll show you now. Let's grab one. Hang on. Bear with me because we're not too far away. So there should be, this is upside down, by the way. This is sort of the frame of the quad bike end. And there should be a notch here, right? And of course, the plasma cutter people decided to use, or laser cutter people, they decided to use the wrong drawing. They used the original drawing and not the modified drawing. So yesterday, I made a template and we did a pilot drill, an 8.5, and this is a 12. This just gives us the radius, basically. So all that's for is the radius, but it also marks it out for us. Today we've got to drop another template on top. Mrs. Mechanic's going to score the 3 cut lines on each plate. She doesn't know that yet. And then I'm going to cut them all out with a slit disc. That's an absolute ball ache of a job, but this is rectification work. And these plates we got them at a much reduced price because they'd messed them up. They're basically going to go in the skip, in the scrap metal. So we managed to get them for a very good price. So it's sort of worth a bit more time to make them right. So I've got to basically cut about a 45-degree angle down there, across here, and back up there again. And then Mrs. Mechanic, as soon as I've done that cut, Mrs. Mechanic will start cleaning up with a flap disc. And then they're ready for sandblasting. It's as simple as that. It's not a massive task, but it's a bit laborious, and I shouldn't have to do it really. But yeah, we're sort of getting there, and that was a far quicker method and leaves a much tidier finish to try and replicate the laser cutting, because it's a tidy piece of work, is this, than using the plasma cutter and then trying to, clean it up, because the cut lines are they're not great. It's fine for what it is, but it's not good enough for this job. I mean, you look at the cut lines on there, look, absolutely super smooth, very, very good. Did a great job. Anyway, so that's the plan of attack for today. Cigarette's disappearing without me smoking it. But yes, that'll keep us busy all day today, I reckon. We might even bleed into tomorrow. Electricians didn't turn up on, was it last Monday they were supposed to be here? I think it was, wasn't it? On Monday last week. The guy was ill, so he didn't turn up. That hasn't been done. They are scheduled now for Tuesday this week. I am at home Tuesday, made damn sure of that. So hopefully by sort of Wednesday, if they get finished in one day, they should do, I can get Mrs. Mechanic set up again with the sandblasting, and she can start sandblasting these plates. I've got to be away for the rest of the week. I think Thursday, Friday I'm away. I might be away Wednesday. I really can't remember. I've not even checked my schedule, to be honest. So that's where we're at with those plates at the moment. So yeah, plenty on. Busy. And we've got some post as well. So we're going to have a look at those parcels shortly. Now, somebody asked what pie it was today. I will tell you. It's the emergency pie. And this, we haven't done it yet. And I don't think I've ever had one, actually. It's a dad's pie, same brand as last week. This one is the mince and cheese, not the steak and cheese. It's, 200 grams down there, look. So we can go and slap that in the pie warmer, actually, since we've got the pie in hand. Great New Zealand pies. Well, I think the last week's was pretty good, actually, wasn't it? It was pretty good, so we can't grumble. So, to camera, Andy, to camera. Fresh pie. It has been in the freezer, but it came out of the freezer last night, so it's fully de-thawed, defrosted. There we go. We'll keep the bag. We'll leave that for later on. Right, quick check. Zoom, 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 zoom. I'll come back to the comments very shortly, chaps. I know you're firing a few through. There we go. Look, the lid looks great. No problems there. Again, they've gone for those little sort of pressure relief slits in there, and the base is pretty good. So, to the pie warmer. I'm just going to get rid of this. I keep getting messages. There we go. Right, turn you around. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Okay, here we go. There's all sorts of... we've got the monkey. Ooh! Monkey bike is in the workshop. More about that shortly. Oh, hang on. There we are. Geez, sorry, chaps. Right. Okay. Half asleep this morning. Oh, look at that. It's already, just from me carrying it, it's cracked all the way around there. Dad's pies. Need some better glue. Jeez. Okay, right. Pie is in the pie warmer. There we go. And standard 23 minutes. There we go. Perfect. Right. Back to the bench. Oh, yes, this is the purse. Should we grab that while we're here? So we've got 3. We've got JB Tools from, where are they from? Livonia? Livonia, is that how you pronounce it? In Michigan, in the States. This one, now be very careful. This one is from Ivan, top bloke. So we'll find out what's in there. And we've got something in a long box. Don't know. We will wait and see. Right. Holy crap, it's quite heavy. Bear with me. Okay. Grab those while we're here. Okay, so should we do one of those now, shall we? All right then, let's do Ivan's. What the hell? Let's do Ivan's. What's Ivan sent us? Right. I'm just going to cover the address up because it's got his home address on it. Well, I think it's his home address anyway. Right, 3, 2, 1, boom. Okay, there we go. Hopefully that's about level because we're all to cock today. Oh no, where's my knife? There he is. Right. Sorry, terrible camera work. Didn't take you on the journey to find the knife. My apologies. Okay, to camera, Andy, to camera. We'll open it from the base because then that way you're not going to see the address. Way. Right. Again, those that have followed the live streams will probably know what's in here, or will be able to guess. Let's have a look. Ooh. Right, free packaging. I like that. There we go. We've got a bag of stuff. Right. Ooh, nice zip bags. I like these. These are very good. Ooh, hey, listen to that. Hang on, I'll do it again. The camera. Listen to this. That's posh, isn't it? Tactile, that's what you call it. Right. So, oh, you've even got it on here, look. In, no doubt, Ivan's handwriting. So I'll have to treasure this bag, won't I? Because he's a top bloke. There you go, look. It is, the 8th, sorry, the 6th, wrong way around. The 16th of the 8th, 2022, from Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics, pressure transducer number 150 with the BNC fittings to fit the Pico that we have. So, number 150. Wow. Sold a few of these, Ivan. Good job, mate. That's what we like. Right, sorry, to camera. Got some wires. And we have, oh, look at that. He's done a great job. It's even got his sticker and everything on there, look. Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics. The lad's got it sussed. They give him that. He's doing extremely well. Now, it might need the switch relocated. It's just popped out. I can fix that. Right, okay. So, we've got a connection. And that goes on to, looking at this. Ooh, this should be fun. Looking forward to getting used to using one of these. I wanted one for a long time and I haven't had one. And I think it'd be great. Right, 265 PSI. One of the higher one, I think it is. That he does. Which will be absolutely fine. Be more than enough for what I need. Right, there we go. Look, so it connects onto. It's pretty tidy, isn't it? Look at that. Very smart. Very durable as well, which is what I wasn't too sure what I was going to get, to be honest. But there we go. Very, very good, Ivan. Excellent. And basically, I can use my the lead for the compression tester into the spark plug hole, and boom, there you go. Believe it or not, at the moment, I'm more interested in using this within a coolant system to diagnose leaking head gaskets, basically. That's what I'm looking at. Because, you know, we actually get quite a lot of that with the ATVs and the ROVs here in New Zealand, where customers, you know, tend to block the radiators up and then cook the engine, and then of course the head gasket fails. So essentially, this is the lead that goes to the Pico. So that plugs in there, look, dum dum dum. Great job, very tidy. And on there will go the pressure transducer, which is that way around. There we go. Clip. Perfect. So that basically is the kit. So when I get a chance, I will be spending some time getting used to this, and of course sampling some for in-cylinder pressure testing as well. I'll be getting some known goods on the models of bike that I work on. So that is absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much, Ivan, for sending that through. I really appreciate it. If you're in the market for or looking for a pressure transducer to use with your scope, well, you know, I can only recommend Ivan's. A fraction of the price of the Pico kit. I did actually order a Pico one ages ago from the New Zealand importer, and unfortunately the New Zealand importer didn't process the order for whatever reason. It just never happened. He never rang me back to say yes, it's in stock. Yeah, Ivan, I fixed it for you. So it just never happened. I never paid for it. He never said, all right, it's here now, give us your credit card and we'll send it out to you. Just never happened. I did reach out to Pico over in the UK, sent them an email, but for whatever reason that never came back either. So I just sort of gave up. Right, I'm gonna have another cigarette because I only had about half of the last one. Okay, back to the comments. Here we go. Simon Roll, funny man, lol. Cheers, Simon. What a mate's for, eh? Can't pull your leg now and again. Purple Monkey, 1974. How many plates to fix? I think there's about 104 at a rough guess. So it's a bit of work, to be fair. Vijayant Governor. Hello, Andy and crew from South Africa. Good morning, Vijayant. And welcome back into the workshop, sir. Sorry, I'm a bit slow today. I'm trying to read comments and comment at the same time, and it doesn't work, does it? Killswitch BB, mum's pie is far better. You see, I've come to the conclusion everybody has their own favorite pie, right? We all have our own sort of tastes, and what we believe to be the best pie is the one that we like. It's not for me to say, really, what is the best pie in New Zealand. All I can say is what's the best pie in New Zealand as far as I'm concerned, from my perspective, you know. That's all right. Hey, I tell you what, that bonnie looks pretty good there, doesn't it? It's pretty well you know, framed in the shop there. Pure chance. Alan called me the other day and he said, it was about a few other things, but which we won't discuss, obviously. He says, sincere apologies. I've been extremely busy, and he has been very busy. He's always busy, poor Alan. And he hasn't had a chance to source the special tools needed to remove that primary drive, the clutch and the is it magneto on there and stuff. You know, you've got to pull those both out, take the drive chain off, and then we've got to dig our way through to release that that output shaft on the gearbox, which is still in there. But that's all right, because hey, Alan, I've got loads of stuff to get on with, mate. So your bike will just be gathering dust, literally, in the workshop. I'm gonna have to put a cover over it today because of all the grinding and stuff that we're doing. Anyway, now then, where do we get to? Jim K. Good morning, Jim. Welcome back, matey, and thanks for all the phone calls during the week. I do appreciate it. It's certainly, you know, I've done quite a bit of driving this week, and Jim's calls certainly helped to while away the time. And actually, morning tea, he's got the timing bang on for when I usually break about 10 a.m. in the morning. Go and have a cigarette and a coffee after I've been working since 7 doing emails, and we have a nice chat. It's good catch up. Jim says, what's the deal with clocks changing without notice? If you're referring to me giving you notice, my sincere apologies, Jim. I was totally unaware. Like I normally am every time the clocks change. They always can. I usually only find out late at night, the night before they change, and that was exactly the case. I only found out yesterday. So yeah, it's crap. As regards, they don't really announce. I mean, I don't watch the daytime TV. I don't watch the news, the regular news channel on TV anymore. And I'm pretty sure that they would mention something in the news that, oh, don't forget you're getting up an hour earlier in the morning, but I don't watch it, so that I didn't get that reminder. So that's the way it is. It caught me out. Mike Adams, howdy all. Just finished a plumbing repair. Now I can breathe for a few minutes. I hate plumbing. I usually get soaked to the skin doing any kind of plumbing. And they always seem to leak, the joints. We did the bathroom years ago, and we used those sort of crimp fittings. Not really a fan. Much rather have used nice copper pipe and soldered it all, as Colin Furs would do. But anyway, we use this plasticky stuff where you buy the fittings. The fittings are bloody expensive, to be fair, and they're a one-shot deal, and you've got to hire the tool to crimp them up, which isn't cheap either. And anyway, one of them started to leak behind after we'd finished the job and we'd put all the tiling in. About a year later, one of the wall that is shared with basically the office that I use, which also has bunk beds in it. It's like a spare room. The wall was getting a bit damp, and it's like, what the hell? What's going on? And rather than take all the tiles off, I went in from the bedroom side, from the office side. And so everything was back to front, and it was quite tricky getting in there, but it turned out to be one of those fittings that was just weeping a little bit, so I had to replace it. But I managed to do it. It's a bit tight, but I could get in. I really didn't want to retile the bathroom. That would have been bad. So there we go. Simon, are you planning on using the pressure transducer on a cooling system with a trigger from one of the plug leads? Yes, I am. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I want to see combustion pressure pulses going through the coolant system. It's been done. I think Eric did it recently on a car. His was a head gasket job, wasn't it, that he did on the one that I watched. I think Ivan's done it as well. In fact, Ivan has done it because it's a great way of marketing his pressure transducer. And it's probably that video that went, oh, I need to order that. So I just ordered it there and then. Otherwise, I'd have forgotten. And Ivan did me a great price, and very, very happy. It was good to have a chat with him. He's a good lad, and he knows a lot of stuff, doesn't he? He knows so much stuff. He's a great lad. And if you haven't watched any of his videos, you really need to go and watch some of his videos. I mean, the camera work. No disrespect to Ivan at all. The camera work it's off the scale. It really is. And I mean, the bottom of the scale. It's just horrendous. But he takes us on this like journey. You are the camera, and you end up falling over sometimes, and you end up looking at bulkheads for a bit, and he's talking about something else. But the content is absolutely gold. He always seems to get to the end of it and work out what the problem is. Might take a couple of episodes, but he gets there, doesn't he? I can't talk. Sometimes I have maybe 10 episodes before I fix something. Ridiculous. That's the way it is. Gary Hills. Hi, Andy. Good morning, Gary, and welcome back to the workshop, sir. Harold Schmading. Harold. I'll call Harold. Greetings from North Germany. Hopefully I pronounced your surname correctly there, Harold. Welcome to the workshop, sir. Don't recognize that name, so you must be a new one to the workshop, to the live stream. So great to have you on board. In fact, how many have we got? We've got 25 people watching at the moment, and only 9 thumbs up. I'm not doing a very good job this morning. If you've not hit the like or the dislike button, now's the time. Guy Martin's in the workshop. Bloody hell. Honestly, top bloke. Guy Martin, morning matey. I just bought a Trump type H550cc single for a song out of a barn in Norfolk. Gonna restore it. Good man. Send me some pictures when it's all done. In fact, send me some photos of it not done as it is at the moment, because it'd be great to see that. I'm sure Simon he's not an English bike expert, to be fair, but I'm sure Simon can help you out if need be as well. I'm sure Simon knows more than I do about British bikes. I know very little. This is really my first proper repair on a Brit bike, so anything could happen. So Guy, again, welcome back to my workshop, matey. It's a privilege to have you here. Now Gary Hills, I'm interested in buying another Triumph Bonneville. Should I get one to restore or spend more and get one in very good condition? Regards, Gary. Right. This bike that's on the hoist right now has been, in inverted commas, fully restored. It managed 6 kilometers and then the gearbox failed. So what do we get? What do we learn from that story? The story is that fully restored may well not mean fully restored. In the case of this particular bike, clearly it was purely a cosmetic restoration. Guy had the fuel tank painted. He, glitzed up all the chrome and put new mud guards on it and made it all shiny and nice. It looked great. Probably new spokes in the wheels. All the frame stuff. I don't think the engine's had very much work done, or if it has, it's been done very, very bad. Well, in fact, it has. It's been done very, very badly because there was an awful lot of sealant in many places that sealant shouldn't be, including inside the gearbox. So not very impressed at all with the mechanical condition of this bike. And, who knows what else we're going to find wrong with it as the videos roll on. I have a gut feeling that this bike is going to end up being a long-term project again, just like the CB750 was. I was sincerely hoping that wasn't going to be the case because I've got lots of other projects on the go at the moment as well, including doing the new deck for the back of the house, with a roof and everything. The roof's almost finished. We picked up the corrugated iron on Friday, so we've got that here on site. I've just got to finish a few more of the bits of timber on the roof, and then the corrugated iron can go on. And that'll be a major goal at that point, a major stage reached, because then the area underneath the deck will be dry and I'll be far more inclined to do more work. We've had a lot of rain here in New Zealand the last few weeks, and plus, I've been away, so it didn't make any difference. But, when the sun comes out, it gets ridiculously hot. So again, the roof's going to give me some shade, which will be nice. Hang on. Hang on. Mike Bazanski, looks like the Bonnie has been used as a blue roll dispenser. It does, doesn't it? I tend to, I've got to cover the gearbox up and stop crap going in there because it's all exposed at the moment. But I tend to, when I'm using a bit of blue roll, if it's still got some life left in it, then it gets usually put on the lathe. But for some reason, I think because the bike was in front of the lathe, it got put on the bike bench. So it's not there for any particular reason other than easy to grab and then to reuse because, blue roll's expensive. So got to use it frugally. Is that a word? Frugally? Anyway. But good, well spotted, Mike. Mike Adams, I don't know how much equipment the farmers have to carry already on the bikes, and such machines use service for them. But have you suggested an air tank to blow out the radiator now and then? Unfortunately, New Zealand, most of the places these ROVs and ATVs, and it's mainly an ROV issue, although it does affect some ATVs. It's more mud. It's more dried mud in the radiator matrix, within the fins. And sure, now and again, some of them will give it a token gesture, sort of swill off. But in reality, there's still a lot of mud at the rear side of the radiator, between the radiator and the cooling fan. And traditionally, ROVs tend to have a pretty small capacity coolant system. So once you get sort of 10-15% of that matrix blocked with mud, the cooling system's already compromised. On a hot day, you're going up a steep hill, you're carrying a bit of weight, she's going to overheat. It's as simple as that. They just don't look after them well enough. However, I also appreciate that to clean the radiators out properly is a big job. It's not a 5-minute job, and because of that, they just don't bother. What I would like to see on the ROVs is what the 4-wheel drive will do, or used to do. I'm not too sure on the current models, but on our Nissan Patrol, and we used to run a lot of Nissan Patrols back in the UK, the radiator is a lot larger, both in surface area and depth as well, where, we've had cases where the bottom third of the radiator has been full of mud and the vehicle still doesn't overheat. I mean, partly because they're using an engine-driven cooling fan, a viscous fan, which draws a hell of a lot more air than an electric fan ever could hope to do, in all honesty. But also there's a lot more coolant, so it spends longer in the radiator, it has more time to cool down, and the fact that there's more surface area. So there's a lot more spare capacity in a 4-wheel drive's cooling system than there is on an ROV. They try and make the radiators as small as they can because they want the body work to look smart and whatever. Doesn't work. I am starting to see a bit of a trend towards larger radiators because it's a problem across all brands. But you know, watch this space. They need to solve the problem. You know, I do see on a regular basis overheat situations on our RVs, and it's less now than it used to be because, you know, I've been trying to educate customers and educate the motorcycle shops to educate customers. But it's a big problem, especially in a muddy environment. The machines get worked hard every single day, and they don't look after them. In all honesty, the majority of customers don't look after them as they should do. Now then, Mike Adams done that one. Mike Adams again. We have to blow out the air filters and radiators in our demo equipment sometimes twice a day, or more on site due to dust and debris. Yeah, I mean, there are certain farms, peak summertime when there is no mud, they do get a lot of bits of grass when they're driving through the fields and stuff, and the little, you know, the tops of the grass, the flowery bits, whatever you want to call them, they get stuck in the radiator. Some of them drive through kale fields. Have you heard of kale? Kale's pretty popular here as an animal food for winter. The kale stalks are extremely strong, a bit like bamboo almost, and very destructive to things like CV boots and things. And the kale can stab straight through a radiator if they're not careful. And they just seem to just drive through it. They just don't bother. You know, it's only when things fail and the vehicle grinds to a halt that they wonder what's going on. They take a look. Simon, if you ever watched an Ivan video, the last one he put up is a good one to start. Ram camper van. Not seen that one. That must be a new one that's only recently come up. Simon, I know very little about British bikes. Simon and myself, I think we're going to form a club. Neither of us know very much about British bikes. So, yes, we're going to learn together, because I'm no doubt as I find problems with this, I'll be conferring with Simon about the issues. It's a team effort for sure. Cosmetic restoration, just say he polished a turd. Yeah, I mean, I think Alan feels very let down with this particular bike. Very let down. He was sold something which really wasn't as per described, in all honesty. Oh, hang on. I've got to scroll down. You guys have been busy. Harold. Oh, there goes the pie. I'm driving a quad Suzuki 750 AXI, the best quad I've ever had. And I very often look your videos to fix my baby myself. Never stop to show you videos. Never stop to show your videos. I'm gonna keep making videos. Don't you worry about that. My biggest problem is time, and you know, I don't run a regular workshop. I don't have customer bikes coming in every day. I have a day job. I'm busy, and I have a lot of stuff to do on weekends as well. So there's a limited supply of different kind of vehicles coming into the workshop, and when they do, they're usually here for quite a long time. It's not a fast turnaround. Again, because of time constraints, parts supply, in this case, special tools turning up, that kind of thing. So, you know, I'm looking forward to retirement, which I've said to Mrs. Mechanic will be when I'm 60, so 10 years' time. I'll then be able to focus completely and solely on the channel. Looking forward to that. Not looking forward to jumping 10 years of my life, but you know, between now and then, we'll just keep rumbling through and the videos will go out. I'm hoping my target really at the moment is one video every 2 weeks. I haven't achieved that for the last couple of months, but I'm trying to get back on track. There is one in the can at the moment. It's filmed, but it hasn't been edited up. And of course, we've got the entire bike trip on the DR200 for me to edit up and get out on the channel, which it's going to be an epic trip. I mean, it was an epic trip. It's going to be an epic series of videos. There's a lot of stuff in there. And I'm sure you'll all enjoy watching it. I just need to pull my finger out and find some time to get it to start editing it. And it's a big task. I mean, maybe I need to just lower my ambitions a little bit with the quality of the episodes. You know, I had big plans to put together a really smart intro from snippets from the whole trip. To do that is difficult because you've got to find that stuff, and it takes a lot of time to find it. So maybe I'm just going to do the first episode and do an intro with bits from that, and then the intro will change for each video, or it'll, you know, I'll just start putting new bits, new snippets into the intro, and it'll evolve as the series goes along. I don't know. We will have to wait and see. Looking forward to a holiday, actually. I can do it then. Where do we get to? Mike Adams, Simon. Oh, hang on. Jeez, you guys are too quick on the comments. Simon, don't feel out of place because I know nothing about British bikes as well. Ah, you see, another club member. 3 of us in the club now. That's excellent. Igor's Dobroskis. Andy, do you have a video of a rear brake caliper repair? Yes. Mine has decided to seize. The master cylinder was easy to rebuild. Now I'm thinking of the caliper rebuild. It is a 2-piston one from an R1 Yamaha. Yes. There's actually quite a few caliper rebuilds, and it's pretty much the same sort of technique, whether it's a front caliper or a rear. If you look through, there's a couple of videos on Ben's TDR 250. We did the rear caliper, and from memory, I'm pretty sure we did the master cylinder as well, actually, because it was leaking. So check those out. But there are lots of other videos covering caliper rebuilds as well. The one thing, the biggest issue, I believe, with caliper rebuilds and the problems that people face post-rebuild is excessive travel of the brake pedal or the brake lever, especially on motorcycles, because there's a lot less fluid transfer. So you know it's a much smaller piston in the master cylinder, and that's more, I believe, to do with using incorrect lubricant when assembling the caliper. I used to build a lot of the calipers up for the little Suzuki Jeeps back in the UK. And when we ordered the seals, they came with a little sachet of grease, obviously like a rubber grease type stuff. And sure enough, you know, I'd build the caliper up and I'd use the grease that came with it as per the manufacturer's recommendations. And we found that there was too much piston retraction. The lever would just go to the bars, and this was even the case when we bought complete calipers from the same company. When I stripped them down, I found the same grease on the seals. So the way I rebuild calipers is I clean everything up, squeaky clean. Normally, new seals would go in, but I just use the brake fluid. Whatever brake fluid is for that system, i.e. the seals are designed to work with, I use the brake fluid as a lubricant to pop the pistons back in. So, you know, the seals get covered in the brake fluid and then put into the casing, into the casting of the caliper. And then the piston gets smeared in brake fluid and it just pops straight in, no problem. And I don't have any issues. They always seem to work bang on. So just be aware of that. It was quite funny, actually. I did a study just to highlight this with my students. We had a spare lesson in the workshop. We'd sort of got all our work done. So I said to them, right, go and grab some old calipers, pull them all apart, and each team rebuilt the caliper using a different lubricant from around the workshop. One team would use, you know, I knew what was going to happen. They didn't. So one team used WD-40, one used normal lithium grease, one used probably brake fluid. One might use like a CRC spray. We basically just, I think one tried to assemble them without any lubricants at all. And with that, then what I got them to do was to measure the piston retraction. So we used basically a steel ruler and the original brake pads to stop the pistons coming too far out, and they'd apply compressed air and the pistons would pop out. And then obviously they'd retract a distance, and I got them to measure what that retraction distance was. And the differences, and I've still got the notes somewhere, the differences were astronomical. There was a huge difference between, what kind of lubricant you used as to how much, if any, piston retraction you got. It was quite surprising, and it really highlighted the students the correct lubricant to use when you do an assembly of calipers. It's pretty cool. So hopefully, Igors, you'll be able to dig one out on the channel. Igors Dabrowskis again. The bike was parked for 7 years. Well, I'm sure you'll be able to get the caliper stripped down. Guy Martin, again, I've watched every episode you have put out, even though I haven't posted too much. I've been watching, and yes, I'll email you the photos. Awesome. Thank you, Guy. Email address, andymechanic@live.co.uk. Look forward to seeing those, Guy. Thank you. Pete Woodfine. Hi, Andy and crew. Good morning, Pete. Guy Martin. Oh, it's a 1921. Holy crap. Way before my time, and way before my time as well. Jeez, that's a very old bike. Good find. Right, where we get to Mike Adams. What about some sort of fine mesh screen, like a storm door, to put in front of the radiator to allow the water to flow through, but reduce the amount of sand and thick mud getting into it? The problem is, when the mud goes into the radiator, it's normally a very fine sort of silty mud, which is essentially just mixed with the water. You know, it's in puddles, and it's suspended in the water, so it's very fine material. And when the vehicle goes through the puddle at speed, the front tires, and you can see it on four-wheel drives as well, it splashes the water forwards of the vehicle. So now it's up in the air, and then the vehicle drives through this mist or these splashes of water that's now in the air, and it goes straight into the radiator. And then, of course, it dries, and then the dirt deposits, the water evaporates away, and the dirt then basically builds up like concrete on the fins. So, you know, over a period of time, it just blocks the fins up. And mud's a great insulator, which is a bad thing for a radiator. Another problem as well is the ROVs in general have the radiator at the front and the engine at the rear. And under the floor, between the floor and the skid pan of the vehicle, there are two large metal coolant pipes. And obviously there are holes in the skid pan for access for servicing and stuff. And again, the mud gets up in through the holes, and over a reasonable period of time, maybe, you know, 1,000 Ks or whatever, especially during the winter, mud then builds up around those steel coolant pipes, and again acts as an insulator. So the coolant, when it arrives to the radiator, is actually a lot hotter than it would be, because it would have radiated some heat as it traveled down the pipe heading to the radiator from the engine. So again, you know, we're already on the back foot. The radiator's got to dump even more heat because the coolant's hotter when it arrives into the radiator. Essentially, it's a compound problem. You know, there's a number of issues which eventually, ultimately, cause the demise of the coolant system, reducing the cooling capacity of that radiator. Even things like cooling fans, over time, those motors become less efficient. They move less air, which, you know, the customer thinks, oh, the fan's on, what's going on? But it might only be moving 70% of the air that it used to move. And of course, if the radiator's blocked anyway, it's sucking against mud. It can't pull any air through the fins. So there's a lot of problems with cooling systems. There really is. One of the things that the fixes that I've done on certain ROVs over the years is to install a second radiator. And I think I told Jim about this the other day. Fit a second radiator underneath the driver's seat or under the passenger seat. There's usually plenty of room under there for that kind of stuff. And you can easily plumb into the coolant pipes, and it has its own fan. Now, sure, it does make it a bit noisier in the vehicle, but that radiator tends to stay a lot cleaner. And, you know, the fans, there's still plenty of air around there, and it's usually pretty cool air when you're driving. It's not quite as cold as the air at the front of the vehicle, obviously, but having that additional capacity or volume of coolant in the system, and that second fan, which you can even wire onto a switch and have it on all the time if you want, you know, it solved the problem. You know, the vehicles that have had that modification made have a much larger cooling capacity, and it doesn't really affect them too much. They maintain normal operating temperature very well, and they don't overheat. So it's sort of proof of concept, isn't it? Bigger radiator, that's what we need. And it also keeps it away from the mud. That's why, you know, your race buggies and stuff, they have the radiator on the back behind the rear two seats, because there's a lot less mud around there. And they have massive cooling fans to draw the air through the radiators. You know, comp safari trucks and stuff, they all put the radiators on the rear, because the front of the vehicle is just, you know, it's open to all the elements, and it gets all that mud as you drive through those puddles. I sort of know my shit sometimes, don't I? Anyway, where do we get to? Oh, God. Oh, hang on. I've got to scroll back again. You guys are on a mission. Jeez. So going back to Mike's comment, fine mesh, anything in front of the radiator reduces airflow. And of course, any kind of mesh, yes, it might actually help if they were to clean it. It might stop the mud getting in, but I think the mesh could block up sooner, but it would be easier to clean. So it does still rely on the customer cleaning it out, but it, under certain circumstances, that might be a really good idea. It might well work. J, Billy, Josh, Andy. Oh, in capitals. Do I need to shout this? Andy, a 1979 Honda C50. Oh, I've worked on those. Z, struggle to start, but does what could be the issue. Oh, hang on. Struggle to start, but does what could be the issue. Now, C50, Honda C50, worked on many of those engines. When I had them that struggled to start, I mean, obviously, it could be many things. It could be a weak spark. It could be, a carburetor's a bit blocked up or whatever. I used to regularly overheat mine because it was in a go-kart, was the engine. And I would suggest, check your compression, because I regularly, got it too hot and it would score the barrel and lose compression, then it wouldn't start very well. Valve clearances as well, check those. Make sure you've got no blowback through the carb. So what you can do there is what I call the tissue test, where you take the air filter off, or at least the pipe that goes from the back of the carb to the airbox, remove that, and go and get some toilet roll, tear off, just separate one single ply, and hold it about an inch away from the intake to the carb. And I take it it's going to be kickstart, so get someone to kickstart the engine over with the plug cap off. You don't want it to start. And watch the piece of tissue. It should only ever get drawn towards the carburetor. If it gets blown back against the normal flow of air, i.e. back towards the airbox, then it's an indication that you've got a leaking intake valve. And that's going to rain havoc with the airflow through the carb, and could well be one of the reasons why you've got poor starting. Very simple test, tissue test. I'm gonna copyright that, because that's one of the things that I do, and many times it's highlighted a problem with a leaking intake valve. It's pretty cool, and it costs nothing. It's not special kit, is it? You don't have to go out and spend thousands of dollars on a piece of equipment to tell you that. Coffee's cold. Oh, the pie is ready. We need to go and get the pie. One more comment. Simon, I goes, if it's a blue post, you may need a tool to remove the spots. And if the spots are stuck solid, don't force them, as it will chew the threads on the spots. What are we talking about here? I goes, hang on, bear with me. I might have missed something there. Oh, there you go. Yes, okay. Regarding the R1 caliper. Thank you, Simon. Right, so read Simon's comment. Very important. Mike Adams, sorry, I'm sure you've already thought of all those ideas to protect the radiator, but just thought I'd throw mine out there. Absolutely, Mike. No, it's important that we cover all the, people's ideas. I'd throw mine out there just in case, just how my brain works. Until you try something, you don't know whether it's going to work or not, and it might work in one working environment, but not in another. And the farms here tend to be pretty specific, and the problem is they employ people to drive these machines, and they don't care. Most of them just do not care. They get in it, they start it, they go and do their job. They have no interest in checking the vehicle, unfortunately. Right. Well, let's go and get the pie, because I'm getting hungry. Okay, turn you around. 3, 2, 1, boom. There we go. Right. Dom, 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 dom. Pie time. So this is a dad's pie, and it's a mince and cheese, not a steak and cheese. Ooh, look at that. Right. Oh, geez. You see that? See how fluid it is? Got some major oh, God, another crack on the rear. This is bad. This is really bad. Okay, look at that. This could be a pie-tastrophe in the making. Who knows? Hey, we've still got 2 parcels to unpack as well. Look, this could be a long live stream. Maybe I'm. Hang on, turn you around. Boom. Maybe I'm putting off doing all my work today and just want to talk to you guys. Mrs. Mechanic's going to be livid because she knows that I've got lots of work to do. But hey, I need a break. I And it's nice having some time with you guys. Right. Quick check of the pie. Doesn't look good. Lid. Oh, that bit's all right. Come around here. Maybe it was oh, there we are. Look. Hello. Oh God, Dad's pies. Not particularly built well. Okay. Big crack down there. Most of the lid's falling off, and if I just carefully turn upside down, the base is, thank God, still reasonably safe. Okay. Trying to get comfy in this position. It's not easy. Right. So just those that have just joined us recently, this is a mince and cheese Dad's pie. And it has been frozen. Whether that makes any difference or not, I don't know. Whether it changes the composition of the pastry or whatever, might do. If we've got any chefs out there that could comment on that, would be good. Because, you know, it's not really a mechanic thing, is it? Okay, so I'm going to go in. I'm going to try and find, where's that big crack gone? There he is. Right, I'm going to start with that huge crack that's running right down the side. We'll eliminate that because that could be a problem later on. Oh, pretty hot. Okay, where do we get to? Simon, it's the blue one. Good. Simon. Oh, we're off again. I'd get the tool. Being a mono block, they're very hard to land out with the spots in. Okay, there you go. Hi, goes. Okay, thanks. We'll try and get the tool. You see, collaboration, it's all about helping each other out, isn't it? Simon knows all about those calipers. Simon, so can a mod not be made to the radiator with, say, a pipe running between the fins with holes in, that the farmer could put a hose on to clean it out? Yes, actually, you could do that. There's an off-road centre in Queenstown that I'm good friends with the owners. And often helping them out with various bits and pieces. I actually made some suspension braces for those that are long-standing viewers. You might remember those. And those were designed originally for the machine that they were using because they were having some problems. The particular machine they were using at the time had an oil cooler forward of the radiator, and there was a very narrow gap between the two. And I think the mechanic down there came up with a very similar idea. He ran a couple of pipes between the radiator and the oil cooler, which he could then put onto his pressure washer, and it would blast forwards and rear, and it would help to wash out all the mud between the two, because it used to be pretty bad, to be honest. And he said that helped enormously. It reduced the labor time to clean everything out. So yeah, things like that do work. The biggest problem is coming up with a kit and rolling it out on all the vehicles and getting the customers to pay for it. You know, it's like banging your head against the wall sometimes. And then you're relying on them doing it. This is the problem. And they just forget. I mean, even getting customers sometimes to just to check the oil regularly is a problem. I know it's ridiculous, isn't it? But they just don't. Where do we get to? Pete Woodfine. Could you use a Teflon spray to stop the mud sticking? That's a good idea. Maybe. Might be worth a try. Wonder how the Teflon probably shouldn't affect the thermal element, you know, of the radiator too much. Would it burn off? No, Teflon can cope with heat, so that could be worth a try. I'll maybe look into maybe trying to get a Teflon spray and give it a go. Clever idea. Richard Perry. Morning, Annie and crew. Hope all is well. GB. It is. I'm just enjoying my pie at the moment. I've actually given up trying to score it at the moment. Okay. So, we need to get back to the pie, don't we? And I've got bread. Mrs. Mechanic, if you're watching, could I have another coffee, please? This one's nearly all gone. Right. Taste stroke flavour contents. The pie... The pastry is pretty dry, in all honesty, hence probably why it's all breaking up and cracking. Contents aren't too bad, and this is just contents. One more bite. It does taste like mince. I've got to score it as a mince pie, so savoury mince pie, by the way. I'm going to give it a 6. It's not fantastic. Structure fully partners, let's leave that for now because it's pretty bad and it's only going to get worse. Runnability test. Okay, here we go. This is easy. 45 degrees, 30 seconds. Pretty confident it's going to survive pretty well. Can you see anything falling out? I can't see anything falling out. Nah, it's pretty solid, isn't it? There's nothing going on there. That's pretty good. Happy with that. So runnability 10. Meat quality. Don't know yet. Let's keep going. Oh, little tiny bit of cheese just showing up there, look. All right, that's just mince. It's all right. Some funny sound effects going on today. I'm sure you can hear me eating. It's very quiet. Nobody's lawn mowing, nobody's weed whacking, nobody's blowing leaves around. It's fantastic. Meat quality. Ooh, what shall I give it? There was a little bit of gristle there. I'll give it a 7. I think a 7's fair. It might change. So all these scores are fluid until we finish the pie, but we've got to make a start because I can't remember them all. Right, pie to crust ratio. Just trying to hold the whole. Oh, look, we've got cheesy fingers. It's leaking out the back of the pie. That's not good, is it? Right. Where do we get to? Sorry, pie to crust ratio. There you go. So it's pretty thick on the pastry around here. The base isn't too bad, and the lid's pretty thin, but we've got some massive chunks of pastry around the sealing area, which didn't work, obviously. What do I give it? It's not too bad overall. The wall thickness is about 10 mil on this area here. A lot less on this side, so an inconsistency going on there. Quality control. So pie to crust. Oh, we've got cheese on the board. It's just dripped on the cardboard. Character. Mr. Ratty will find that. Pie to crust ratio. I'm going to give it a 7. It's not, it could be better. Availability logistics. Geez, what did we give it last time? I can't remember. Dad's pies are pretty much available anywhere. I'm going to give it. What did I last time? I think it's about an 8. I'll give it an 8. They're pretty much readily available. Although in most places you've got to cook them yourself. Okay. I ate the cheese off the cardboard. I might die by tomorrow. Okay, pastry taste rating. I need a bit of pastry. Let's steal this bit. Okay, pastry. That's from the corner here, look. Very crunchy. Very, very crunchy. Too brittle. It's a bit bland, in all honesty. It's not great. There's no weird aftertaste, but it's a bit bland. I'm going to give it a 6. It could be a lot better. Still tasty when cold. Let's just leave that for now. Packaging design. All right, hang on then. I'm having to manage this pie quite a lot. It's the kind of pie you just want to get it eaten, because you sort of got this feeling of, pending disaster. It's going to fall apart at a moment's notice. So this is the packaging. Mince and cheese, Dad's pies. Now, from memory, the steak and cheese had exactly the same blue cover on it. So they're not color-coded. If you thought they were color-coded, you could easily go and buy the wrong pie. That's not good. Man, I should have watched last weekend's video because there's a lot of common bits. What do we give this one? Packaging. It's pretty good. There's no window. There's a lot of thought gone into it. There's stuff on the back, lots of information of how to cook it. Gives you all the ingredients, obviously. I think we'll give it an 8. I think it gets an 8. Oh, there's the first burp. Packaging design 8. Now, recyclable score. This is not recyclable like it was last week. It's got the plastic lining in the paper, and they don't tell us it's recyclable. They don't even tell us to put it in the bin, to be honest. So it gets a 0 on that one from memory. Pretty sure it got a 0 last week. Oh, another burp. Not good. I'm having to watch the cheese at the rear. I don't want to lose any more cheese. Right. Pie server attractiveness. This was purchased at the same time as the other pie. Nice young lady. It was very well presented, very talkative. Very I don't know, just made you feel quite happy to be there. Welcome. Welcome's the word. Made you feel welcome to their store. I think I gave her a. What did I give her? Was it Simon? What did I give her? Was it an 8 or a 9? I'll give her a 9. She's pretty good. I'll give her a 9. Right. What are we missing? Structure Foley partners. Well, it's been it has survived. It hasn't broken up in my hands like we've had before on the odd pie, the worst ones. But it's definitely been a two-handed pie. There's no way you'd want to eat this one while you're driving, that's for sure. It'd be all over the place. It's pretty poor. I'm going to give it a 3. I know we've seen worse, but it's, even the lid's starting to get fluid now. The lid's floating around on top of the rest of the contents. We've got little dribbles starting on the side. We've got cheese leaking out the back. It's a bit of a pie-tastrophe, to be honest, really. Okay. If it wasn't for my pie eating superpowers, this would be a real problem. It would. Okay. Still tasty when cold. It is cooling down quite a bit now. It's not great, in all honesty. Would I eat it cold? I actually don't think I would. The pastry tastes a bit weird cold. The cheese is obviously a processed cheese. Again, that's starting to taste a bit weird as well. And the meat itself, there's I won't say there's lots of gravy in there, but see if I can show you the inside a bit more. There you go, look. Internals. I don't know. It's sort of going off on flavour a bit. Still tasty when cold. I would say not. I certainly wouldn't look forward to eating this pie cold. It would be more of a task. It would just be a case of, I'm hungry, dig it out of the glove box, try to remember when you bought it. Oh, only about a week ago. We're all good to go. I'm going to give it a 5. I was going to go for 4, but we've had some pretty bad pies when they're cold, so I think 5. 5's a fairer score, to be honest. Right, stuffability score. We need to finish the pie, don't we? Oh my word, you guys are right. We're going for one big bite. Oh my word, you guys have been so busy on comments. Here we go. Right, where do we get to? I'll scroll back loads. Mike Adams, the tissue paper or the dollar bill test works at the exhaust pipe too. It does. You can even do it with the exhaust pipe on. I've done that on the little quad bikes we used to have. To see if you have a burnt or sticky exhaust valve. Exactly. JJ, brilliant idea with a tissue test for a leaky intake valve. Thank you. Kev Straw Monochrome Racing, good evening. Your clocks have caught me out. Clocks caught me out as well, matey. It was only last night I actually heard that the clocks changed. Every time it gets me. Mike Adams, if the exhaust valve is burnt or sticking, the tissue or dollar bill will get sucked into the tailpipe. on the intake stroke. It will. Roger Heaps. Good morning, Andy and crew. Good morning, Roger. Welcome back to the workshop, mate. Oh, this message is held for review. Billy Josh, come on, all like and subscribe, also share. I think, to be fair, everybody that watches the live stream's already subscribed, but feel free to click the like button. Billy Josh 7. What? John Dwyer. The tissue test I learned 60 years ago. So obviously somebody else came up with it. I'm gutted. Jeez, that wasn't good. That wasn't good at all. Right, it's going to get scored really badly for that. That was a bit of, it wasn't just a burp. There was actually some pie came back, which is really bad. Oh man, it's going to get, I don't like that. It's going to get a 1. That's pitiful. Stuffability score. Honestly, I can't. I mean, last week's pie, the steak and cheese, did really well. I feel cheated with this pie. I really do. Stuffability score. I'm not hungry, but I didn't really enjoy it, to be honest. The first bite was fine, and it was downhill all the way after that. Stuffability score. 5. I'm going to give it a 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right, we've got all the scores. Let me catch up with the comments, then we'll add them all up. John Dwyer. Yes, done that one. The tissue test I learned 60 years ago from my father, a Royal Navy engineer on HMS Invisible or Invincible. Wasn't it Invincible? 1943 to 1947. Wow. He was told by his commanding officer. Holy crap. You see, it's really good, simple stuff. Maybe somebody taught me it when I was a kid. Maybe I just thought I came up with it. Gutted now. That was my claim to fame, was the tissue test. I'm a nobody now. G-Bosh 5. What the hell? What's with all the numbers? UK Mechanic. Sadly, the standard customer view worldwide is usually minimal purchase price, every extra fitted free of charge, infinite miles per gallon, 0 maintenance, and nothing breaking or wearing out. Correct. Customer expectations, you can't meet them anymore for some customers. You just can't. And as sad as it sounds, there are some individuals on the planet that you don't want as a customer. Send them away like a little Trojan horse to one of your competitors and let them rain havoc with them, because it's a win-win, isn't it? You're a lot better off by not having them, because you're not going to make any money out of them, that's for sure. And it's a negative effect on your competitors. It pulls them down, it burns a lot of their time, costs them money, whereas you can focus on the better customers. And you know, I've come across customers before over the years. Certain names, I'm not going to say any names, certain names stick out, and they've gone to one bike shop and they've complained about a repair, so they've tried another bike shop, same problem, they've complained what they've done, and they've ended up doing a full circle and finally come back round to the first bike shop they ever went to. And they're like, I mean, if they remember them, they're like, well, I'm sorry mate, we don't want to deal with you. Chances are many years have passed and they won't remember them, and then they go through the whole cycle again. Some customers you just cannot please, no matter what you do. And you just got to remember to just draw a line and say, right, that's it, game over. Sling your hook, not interested. The biggest problem nowadays, obviously, with social media is they can then jump onto the book of faces or whatever and tell the world that you're an asshole. And you're not. You've done a great job. They just don't see it. They don't take any responsibility for the ownership of their vehicle. At the end of the day, it's their problem, and you're just trying to help them solve it. They're not paying you money for you to absorb that problem. You're there just to help them to get it fixed and to give them advice and do the repairs within the customer's budget, which is usually in these cases bugger all. Just not worth the hassle. I'm very, very picky on what jobs I apart from this one. Very, very picky on what jobs I take on. Simon, Was a good few years back. Had a bike that was mistimed by 180 degrees. Sucked via the exhaust and blew via the intake. Timed it right, and lucky there was no damage. That was very lucky, actually. But had some fun working that one out. Be like, what the hell's going on here? Igor's Broskis. I have another question. What side of a motorcycle engine determines the first or last cylinder on a 4-cylinder engine? I'm assembling a Suzuki I bought in a pile, and I don't know how to put the lid on the leads. I would strongly recommend you Google it. I have been caught out sometimes. I've come across some manufacturers. Simon will know this. I don't want to give you the wrong information. I was actually looking at an engine the other day and I actually got it wrong. Looked at the manual, it's like, it's the other way around. I can't even remember the CB750 anymore. I actually labelled it up on the rocker cover, which was the cylinders. Normally, the highest number cylinder is the one that has the cam chain, but on the end of the camshafts. But you know, some engines have the cam chain running down the middle, like the CB. So you know, it's not a given. Check the manual. Just Google it. Doesn't take long. You'll find it. It's always in the service manual. But you know, you need to get the leads right. UK mechanic. Then a resale value. Mind you, saying that, it's probably got a wasted spark system. So it's got probably two ignition coils and 2 HT leads out of each coil. One coil will do cylinders 1 and 4, and one coil will do cylinders 2 and 3. So you can't be far off. You've only got 2 options then, haven't you? It makes it a lot easier. UK mechanic. Then a resale value of at least double the purchase price, even with decades of hard use and several million miles. Yeah, I think we've got the gist there. I think you're absolutely right. They take it back in. It's hardly had any servicing done. It's knackered. It's falling apart. And of course, they expect the dealer to give them top dollar for their prized possession. Sorry, mate. Take it somewhere else. We're not interested. Pete Woodfine. Nobody likes a leaky rear. They sure don't. John Dwyer. 9? Question mark. Hang on a minute. Recycling. Recyclable score 9. No, I gave it a 0. It got 0 on recycling because it's not recyclable. It's got the plastic liner inside. So no, you got it's got 0. There, look, 0. Now then, Connor K. Hey Andy and crew, I seem to be an hour late arriving. You're not. We're an hour early because the clock's changed. Sorry, Connor. Or you're an hour early. Either way, I'm here now and like has been clicked. Thank you, Connor. And my apologies that you missed the whole first hour of the live stream. Yeah, bit of a problem, isn't it? J. Billy Josh. Overall, I would say a nice pie, so 8.5. Yeah, but that's a generic. We do lots of criteria for these pies. Simon. I goes Vasquez. Suzuki left to right. And just to clarify, that's as you sat on the bike. Okay. Thank you, Simon. You see, problem solved. Cheers, Simon. J. Billy Josh, 8.5 as in taste. 8. How do you know that? You can't taste it. I give it a 6. Didn't taste that great. I mean, the steak and cheese tasted pretty good. Mince and cheese didn't taste that great. Sorry. Simon. Simon again. Call it the Andy test and use a pie wrapper. Oh, mate, you're on it now. Robert, I am Undy. Good morning, Andy and crew. Good morning, Robert. Welcome back to the workshop, sir. Simon, hit the like. Thank you, Simon. John Dwyer. Oh, sorry, Andy. Why are you sorry? Don't be sorry. No, you're good. John Nuttall. I can't remember what I did last week. Aria the Trump. Do you think the gear tooth was stressed at the last gearbox rebuild as he torqued the shaft nut. I don't know. It all looked pretty fresh damage. I don't know. My gut feeling at the moment, and I don't want to give you a spoiler alert, but this is my sort of prediction. Well, it's only a prediction, so it's a sharp bit of metal. Get rid of that. That's dangerous. I believe that there's an issue with the clutch. I believe there's excessive clutch drag. Don't forget, I've never ridden this bike. I don't know. However, Alan did mention that whenever he put the bike into gear, there was quite a loud clunk. I think that is potentially the problem here. Oh, hang on. There's somebody at the door. Bear with me. Right, Mrs. Mechanic says, hurry up, you've got work to do. Right, got me Colin Furze mug. Oh, Colin Furze has just done his last tunnel video, by the way. Looks very cool. Wish I could build a tunnel like that and have extra workshop space and a bunker. It'd be nice. Okay, what the hell are we on about? Yes, so what I think is there's been clutch drag, excessive clutch drag on the bike. And Alan did mention that he put the bike not into first gear to set off, he put the bike into second gear to set off. I struggled to understand the reasoning behind that, but he said it kept stalling in first, but it didn't stall in second. Customers, honestly. But I think, obviously, second gear isn't quite as strong as first. It's not designed to cope with as much torque, but it did still have the clunk applied to it. And hey, it may have already been on the way out, and maybe those teeth were in mesh when he put it into second, and it was just enough to start to break one off, and he got a few Ks down the road, and one of the teeth finally tore off the, off the gear itself, and that was it. Game over. That's my hypothesis at the moment. When we get the clutch out, obviously we'll be doing some measurements on the clutch itself, and I think we'll find some problems with the clutch. I really do, and especially given the fact the clutch is a wearing component. Given the fact the bike has had very poor maintenance, very poor rebuild, I highly suspect that the person doing the rebuild will not have inspected the clutch plates for warpage. It may even have some indentations on the basket, some ribbing on the basket. So who knows? We will find out. Oh, right, we need to have these scores up. Right, hang on. Let me turn you around. 3, 2, 1, boom. Okay, all the camera angles are different at the moment, so you got to bear with me because it's a bit weird. Well, we've got so much more to do. Honestly, I've got parcels to undo and everything, but we've got to crack on. Okay, so addition time. 19, 26, 33, 41, 47, 52, 60, 61, 66, 75. That's right, isn't it? 75. If I'm wrong, let me know, because I rushed that one. Okay, so we've got, what is it? It's a Dad's Pies. And it's a mince and cheese. And it's a 200 gram. I like to put that in there now because it does make a difference. And it got 75, which still isn't bad, I suppose, really, is it? I mean, it scored extremely well on the runnability test. Structure fall apart, it's only got 3. It didn't completely collapse, but it was pretty bad. Recyclable score, this is not recyclable. This is pure rubbish, so it got 0 on the recyclable score. Post pie heartburn, only got a 1 because I got a reflux from this pie, which is not nice at all, especially on a live stream. Stuffability score was pretty poor. It didn't taste very well when it was cold. Overall, there's quite a few failings, but it did score reasonably highly in some of the categories. Meat quality got 7, which maybe a 6 would be more like it. Pie to crust ratio got a 7. The pastry was reasonably thin for the majority of the pie, so it got a 7 for that. So, yes, trying to justify the 75. It did get 75. We can't alter it now. It's the way it is. Let's go and put it on the board. See where we end up. 75. And don't forget, that's significantly lower than last week's steak and cheese. So if you are going to get a dad's pie, I would strongly recommend a steak and cheese and not a mince and cheese. I mean, where's the steak and cheese? Dad's pies. Oh, that was the pepper steak, wasn't it? 97. So maybe we haven't done a steak and cheese. Let's have a look. Have we done a dad's pies, steak and cheese? Dun, dun, dun. Ah, yes, down there, only 89. So actually, if you're going to get a dad's pie, you want the pepper steak. Much nicer pie, actually. There you go. Right, 75. Pretty poor, actually. So I'm just going to put it there for now. We'll make some space. Boom, 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 boom. So it's on the door of shame. I've just made that up. On the door of shame. All these pies on this side really could do a lot better. Dad's pies, mince and cheese, 75. Yeah. What's worse than that? Big Ben steak and cheese, meatier meat. That was crap. Atter's bar. You see, Atter's bar, mince and cheese, very runny, 67. But Atter's bar, chicken, bacon and mushroom still is the leader at 106. I mean, consistency, people. Honestly, terrible. Well, we're going to have to get a bigger cabinet soon, aren't we? Look at that. That's a lot of pies. Things I do for you lot. Right, we need to do another parcel. Let's do this one next. Dum dum dum. Dum dum dum. Oh, great camera work, Andy. I like this. Okay, we'll get rid of that. Don't need that anymore. Stick it up there, look. So, comments on the pie. How did you think that review was? Was it any good? It wasn't too bad, was it? Wasn't too bad. I think the pie kept putting me off. It was a bit weird, to be honest. Right, is that going to work? That'll work. Likes in the shots. Camera's sort of level-ish. Right, cool. Okay, parcel. This one is from JB Tools in Livonia. Is that right? Livonia? Which is Livonia. Can't pronounce it. In Michigan, Michigan, I think it is. Oh dear. Right. To camera, Andy, to camera. Can we get in? Yes, we can get in. Oh, you like this? Not a lot. Who said that? Right. Any money? No, no money. Right, we have a fuel injection pulse tester. Now, I ordered this not too long ago. Again, I'm pretty sure it was it was from Ivan's videos as well. Used to have one of these in Unitech, and basically you can connect your injector to it and it will provide a series of pulses with a controlled duty cycle, so that you can then see a drop in fuel rail pressure over those very controlled number of pulses, and then you can compare one injector to another, and you can see if you've got basically a faulty injector, whether it's not providing, releasing enough fuel during the opening periods, or whether it's producing, allowing too much fuel to flow, it's staying open for too long. But super useful tool, wasn't that expensive, made by OTC, and the part number is 3398, just for your reference. Wasn't over expensive, and something I wanted for a long time. Have used them, like I say, when I was a lecturer at Unitech. Bad news is it's made in China, but hey, some good things do come out of China. Chinese food, for example, pretty tasty. Anyway, here it's it says, oh, go away, fly. Pulses the fuel injector for 5, 10, or 500 milliseconds. Activates injectors to measure pressure differential. Includes the wiring harness, adapter, and instructions. It's battery powered. Power and timing lights indicate test activation. So all the information's on there. Very cool. Should we take it out of the box? We could take it out of the box. Hang on, bear with me. Do we need to? We should do, really, shouldn't we? Because it's an unboxing. It's still in its packaging, so we've got to unbox it. Right, here we go. Don't drop it on the floor, Andy. Will it live in the box? I don't know. It probably will, actually. Keep it tidy. Bear with me. This is not easy because it's trying to close itself all the time. Right, we'll take that out. We have the wires and the instructions. So So we'll get rid of that. I'll repack that off camera later on. Now, instructions. For those that are interested, I mean, you know, obviously we're getting dragged into the modern age. More and more machines have injectors, and I'd like to have, you know, another way of testing them rather than just looking at the oscilloscope side of it, the waveform. Here we go. Look, so I'm going to read the first paragraph, just that bit there. Look for you. EFI tester, electronic pulse tester by OTC. The EFI tester will activate a fuel injector to allow measurement of fuel line pressure drop using 3 different pulse ranges. 1 pulse at 500 milliseconds, 50 pulses at 10 milliseconds, or 100 pulses at 5 milliseconds. This pulse allows a measured amount of fuel to be sprayed into the intake manifold, thereby reducing pressure in the fuel rail. All injectors in the engine should measure the same pressure drop within manufacturer's specifications. So a very simple test, pretty unobtrusive. The only thing you've got to bear in mind is you are introducing fuel and a reasonable quantity of fuel into the intake manifold. So just be aware of that. You know, you don't want to cause the engine to hydraulic. It's got the plug for the injectors, for the injector. It's also got some little jumper leads as well that came with it. And of course it runs off the car's battery. That's pretty cool. And you've got the 3 selectors on there, look, boom, boom, boom. And the fire button, there you go, start the test. It would be really cool actually, when I use this for the first time on a video, is to rig up the scope on this tool and see how accurate, not that it makes any difference as long as it's the same for every injector, but to see how accurate the duration of each pulse is. That would be a cool test, wouldn't it? So we could do that. Do a video on that at some point when Andy gets time, together with all the other millions of videos I have to do. So we've got some really cool gear today. We've got Ivan's pressure transducer, and we've got the injector tester, the pulse tester, which is pretty cool. Right, back to the comments. Where do we get to? Oh, geez. Hang on. Oh. Hang on, bear with me. Oh, God, you guys are so busy. John Nuttall. Oh, here we go. Done that bit. He taught the shaft nut to 50 Newton meters. Sorry, John, I didn't read the whole thing. In gear using the rear brake, or tried to undo it. Not the correct way. You need the correct tool, I'm told. Possibly. Yes. So what you're saying is he's had the engine in gear and he's been trying to tighten that nut up, and that's stressed. It's put too much torque through that gear. Possibly. Who knows? You could be absolutely right there. Mike Adams. I know in cars and trucks, most manufacturers' engines will run counterclockwise, while some will run clockwise. Have you run into this on bikes and such you work on? No, I know Honda car engines, some of them run backwards, don't they? I remember a lad putting a new cam belt on one, and he was struggling a little bit, to be honest. But yeah, he got there in the end. But no, I haven't come across the issue with bike engines, to be fair. J Billy Josh, just judging your face, Andy. All good, mate. Igor Dobroskis. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but I can't find much information on a 1993 Suzuki GSX 1100F Katana. Maybe not looking in the right places. Igor, hang on, I've got some crap in my eye. If you send me an email with the frame number of the bike, I could ask my very low-level contacts for the service manual, and I could email it to you. Obviously, only for your own use. You're not to stick it out on the net for everybody to see. But if you send me that through, I will ask the right people, and we'll see if we can get you the proper service manual for that particular bike. How's that? You can thank me later. Tribe of Judah. What? Look for the repair manual. It probably won't be free to gain access to it. It will if you ask me for it. Igor Zarovskis, thumbs up. JJ, John Nuttall, and Andy like taking the chuck off the lathe using a low gear ratio instead of the shaft lock pin, etc. Right. Simon, have you seen the new Katana? Nice looking bike. I haven't. I could have a look right now though. Bear with me. So 2022 model. Images. What's that one? Ooh, I'll show you this. There you go. Turn you around. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Coming down. Terrible camera work, Andy. I'm just trying to make Ivan feel good. There we go. Right. That looks pretty cool, doesn't it? I wonder if we can get it onto the full screen. Is it going to open up? Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, look at that. Oh, yes. Touchscreen laptop. You can't go wrong, can you? That looks pretty smart, actually. I like the big Suzuki on the tank. Very traditional. The front end is usually quite radical on katanas, isn't it? Just the turbo ones. I'm never too sure about these weird kind of mudguardy bits. I know it meets compliance like that, but you know that whoever buys that bike, within 36 nanoseconds, that whole piece there will be gone and a tail tidy will be fitted, because they do look a bit odd, to be fair. But I know why they do it. A lot of brands do it now. And at least it's got an exhaust on it. Look, it's actually got a pipe that comes up. A lot of bikes now, the exhaust finishes right down here, and that's a bit weird. It's nice to see a pipe on a bike, you know? Hey, it looks pretty good. Pretty good. Right, back to the old live stream. Boom. There we go. Modern technology. Andy's finally getting the hang of it. Okay, that should work. There we go. Stick it over there. Down a bit. Oh, right. Where do we get to? So yes, Simon, very, very cool. Like that. I Glazovsky, Simon, yes, I like it, but I can't afford it. Join the club. We're all spending money at the moment. Mike Adams, you said you heard a clunk when he shifted into gear. Is there a shear pin anywhere on the driveline that could be partially sheared, or the slot worn causing slippage? So what you're talking about is movement in the shaft. I think the clunk was the fact that obviously you've got the dogs engaging, the shafts are still driving, and you do get, if you get clutch drag, you get a clunk on gear engagement, irrespective of any kind of other issue down the line. But we'll be inspecting everything, so if there is such a thing within the drivetrain, then we will find it for sure. John Dwyer, Andy, how many pies have you done in total on the cupboard door? Oh, there must be 60 on there now, at least. There's definitely over a year's worth. And that's only a fraction of the number of pies that I've eaten, to be fair. And there are some more scores to go on of pies that I did during the DR200 bike trip. We did a few of those when we were on the road. And there's a couple of other ones as well from live streams that I've done that haven't yet been put on. So, yeah, I'm a bit slack, to be honest. Probably run out of magnetic sticker things if I did them all at once. Dum dum dum. Mike Adams, or even a damaged shear pin on the engine causing enough slack for a component to shift, affecting the timing under the different loads, or on it when shifting gears. I think it really. I mean, I could be wrong. I really could be wrong. And how far do we go? We're going to start pulling the whole engine apart? I don't think we are. I really don't want to pull that machine apart completely. It'll end up being a 2-year project. I really don't. Let's see where we go. Let's see what the clutch tells us. If we find nothing wrong with the clutch, then we'll explore other possibilities. But I'm going to put my money on clutch for now. But I will also look at the pretty old diagrams. But I'll look at some of the engine diagrams and see, what potentially could be loose, a loose drive pin, like you say, or a keyway or something that could cause that to happen. But don't know. I respect your opinions, absolutely. My gut feeling is, and it's not always right, my gut feeling is it's clutch, but we'll see. Now then, Mike Adams, I was thinking that could cause it to stall when it hits second gear, just a thought. I think it has pretty serious carburation issues, to be honest. I don't think the carbs are set up properly. It just doesn't like running. basically, when it's cold. So we need to try and sort that problem out. CB750 all over again, isn't it? I got us Dabrowskis. Okay, Andy, I'll write it down tomorrow and send it to you. Thanks. No worries. Sheldon! Somebody had a lie in this morning, didn't they? Yes, they did. The clocks have changed, Sheldon. Probably know that. Good morning, Andy. And crew. Good morning, Sheldon. Welcome back to the workshop, matey. Slightly different viewpoint today because Mrs. Mechanic's got her a pillar drill up and running. There, look. She's going to be working hard on that at some point today, maybe, or certainly tomorrow. We've got still quite a few brackets and bits and pieces. Oh, in fact, actually, she won't. I'll be doing all the brackets because she'll be on the shop blasting cabinet, making lots of noise. Simon, the hard choice will be between a new katana or a 1300 B King. I'll have to check that one out. John Nuttall. A damage-struck stepped clutch basket might not help, but bikes do pull wheelies, not shearing gears. They do. Yes, I agree. However, it's that sudden shock, isn't it? You know, the when there's clutch drag and you bang it into gear, and the rear wheel is stationary. There's no give. You know, it's pretty harsh. I agree, worse on motocross bikes and stuff when they're on a hard surface because there's no clutch drive system. Has it got a clutch drive system? I don't know. We'll have to have a look. But it just sounds horrendous. But you're right. It could be something else. It could be. Sheldon, James been up since 1 a.m., 4 a.m. Throwing up, so not much sleep. Oh, mate. Sorry about that. That's not so good. Oh, I've caught up with the comments. I'll finish my cigarette and then we'll do the last parcel that's turned up. But in the meantime, we can do this other stuff. So, one of you, or a number of you, that live down in Invercargill, have been saying, get yourself down to Fat Bastard Pies. Now, this is their leaflet. And I've got to read this to you because it's funny as hell. Okay, you ready? They've got a gentleman on the front here. Look, obviously that's him. And he says, and his name is Barry Dick, and this is from July 2003, so it's pretty vintage. The mince and cheese is all right. Cool. They've got an offer on at the moment. It says here, buy one pie and get the next one for full price. Excellent. We make pies. They do. They make good pies. Star. Oh, sorry. Oh, there's a star on the offer. Offer available every second Monday of every third month. So make sure you go on the right day. People seem to like them. The secret behind our pies comes from complex pressure-sensitive heating equipment, first developed during the Cold War. To avoid the political spotlight and potential corporate espionage, our pies can only be found inside our Invercargill bakery. That's not actually true anymore because you can order them online, providing you live in a city, they'll send them to you. Find us at, and that's where the address is. If you're ever in Invercargill, go and check them out. Very nice young lady serving pies that morning. Everyone loves a fat bastard. Good job. And it's got the menu on the back. Look at that. Fat bastard pies, cholesterol heavy range. Good job. Mixed cold pie boxes. So you can buy 6 pies for $30 cold, or 6 pies for $30, or 12 pies for $60. No discount whatsoever. Star, no more than 3 of one flavor. Grab a box of cold ones for your friends and distant relatives. Crazy deal, crazy deal, crazy deal. Somebody's had a lot of fun putting that leaflet together, haven't they? Now, of course, when I was down there, I did get a pie. And no, I didn't do a review on it, but I will do a review because I was running late. But I'll do it. Next time I'm down there, I got myself a t-shirt. Look at that. Fat bastard pies. And it's got something like, everyone loves a fat bastard. So, I have a new t-shirt and I will be wearing that. Probably in the house, actually. I'll probably walk around town wearing that because people will probably laugh, won't they? Because, you know, I'm bound to fill the t-shirt out because of all the pies, no doubt. And cider. Cider doesn't help. Oh, John Nuttall. I think the clutch has cush drive rubbers in. Okay, we will check it out. I'm just sort of going on what Alan was saying, that it clunked into gear quite harshly. So we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. Right. Now, what else did I get while I was out? Well, in the PO box was a machinery house catalogue. So I thought I'd pick something from here, and you can tell me if you think it's expensive, because they have some pretty good deals. Is it expensive, or is it cheap compared to in your area? So just from memory, I suppose. So what have we got? Let's find something. Oh, here we go, look. Oh my word. You can buy a package deal MIG welder. MIG, TIG and stick welder package. That's pretty cool. So it does MIG and TIG and stick. A multi-purpose welder. There you go. Comes as a package, comes with all the... They're not a sponsor, by the way. Comes with the roller wire, comes with the face mask, gloves, a magnet clamp, probably for your ground, regulator, gas bottle, a small gas, but it's one of those disposable gas bottles, and you get a welding trolley with it as well. Pretty cool, with all the little holes in the top for mounting your stuff up, and all the sparks go through the holes and things. That is only $920. That's New Zealand dollars. Save 476 bucks. That's, oh, and you get a book. You get a book with it, How to Weld. That's pretty good. How does that compare in your area? I mean, it's a package deal, so it's a bit difficult to cover, doesn't it? Maybe something a bit smaller. Okay. A magic hammer, not like mine. This is a different brand, doesn't give the brand. 40mm diameter, soft faces, plastic, brass, nylon heads. So you get all the different heads with the hammer there, look, that one. And it's only $52. That's a lot cheaper than the one I got. A lot cheaper, to be fair. It might not break. And of course, the heads will be a lot easier to interchange as well, given the fact that you get a number of heads with it. Pretty cool. Right, so I'll be reading that in my, probably at lunchtime actually. Okay, we've got one more parcel. Let's go and get, in fact, I think we'll open the other parcel over there. Turn you around, 3, 2, 1, boom. Where's my knife? Got the knife. Oh, here we go. Right, maybe I'll set you up. In fact, I've got another tripod. Let me set you up in the other tripod. Dum, 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 dum. Dum, dum, dum. Okay, bring you around here. Oh, this is all the stuff. You've seen this stuff before, so we've got lots of that to do. Stick that in there. Mrs. Mechanic's going to be chuntering now. Okay, there's the box. What have we got? What have we got? Don't cut the wires, Andy. In here. What have we got? In fact, what the hell? Ooh, look. Hagen shocks from England. England shocks. So, what could these be for? Now, these came from Eurobike at New Plymouth. And I've not seen them yet. Oh, we get a free... Oh, look at that. We get an adjustable spanner for doing the shock adjustment. And we get lots of packing. Look at these little tiny shocks. Ooh, very nice. There's one. Now, I'll tell you more about these once we've shown you what they're for. We'll take this one and we'll go for a wander. Bear with me. Take you back out the stand. That was a super quick unboxing, wasn't it? Dum dum dum. Where are these going to go? Let me think. Oh, they might fit the monkey bike. It's very small, isn't it? But yes, we have to lower the monkey bike. So those shocks are going to go just there, look. Now, these are a 270mm shock, though it's eye to eye, and these are a 330mm shock, so 60mm reduction in height to get that seat height down enough for Mrs. Mechanic. Luckily, there's lots of space under the guard, so we can go that. I've done all the measurements. It's going to work. It better work. But these weren't too badly priced either, actually. Pretty good. Very happy with that. Very small, aren't they? Super small. Tiny shocks. Oh, it's a very cool bike. Really is. What I like And you won't have seen this yet, but I'll give you, as soon as you're on the live stream, I'll give you a spoiler alert. If you look at the screen, let's try and get the glare out of the way. You ready? You get blinky eyes. Look at that. Very cool. Right. Back into the tripod, the mini tripod. Okay, we'll turn you around. Boom, boom, boom. Doing this pretty quick now because the old live stream has to come to an end at some point. What we are now are on an hour and 45. Mrs. Mechanic's going to go mental. Okay, so these shocks, I did the measurements with Mrs. Mechanic after I did the unboxing video, which was after the live stream, and she couldn't touch the ground. So I've already slid the front forks by about 1/2 inch. That's all you can do on those. Tried it again, was still way off, unfortunately. So of course, you know, the next step would be, I didn't want to get the seat scalloped. That's still a possibility, but I'd rather avoid it if I can, because A, it changes the look of the bike, and B, it's sort of a no return kind of a thing. So I sent through the specs on, was it Monday? Yeah, Monday was. I think it was Monday or Tuesday, one of those 2 days. And spoke to a chap there, forgotten his name, very, very helpful guy. And he talked me through what he could do for me, because they build the shocks to suit what you want from various components. He sent me through the invoice, the pro forma invoice, by lunchtime. I paid it immediately. I got an email advising that a parcel had been collected from Eurobike that afternoon, and they arrived here, I think it was Thursday the parcel turned up. Thursday or Friday morning it turned up. So, and we live rurally, you know, so phenomenal response time. So thank you very much to Eurobike. They're not a sponsor of the channel yet, but they did a great job with these. Very, very happy. And I'm sure that they will do the trick. And obviously they'll be put to very good test when that bike gets to ride the full length of New Zealand, you know, which is our standard testing for bikes now, isn't it? 4,000 kilometers of gravel and minor roads and stuff. So we'll wait and see how it copes. And Mrs. Mechanic is going to be riding it. Right, where do we get to? Roger Heaps, do you know if I can do cam chain on a 420 quad with motor in the bike? Someone said motor out seems a bit much. I don't know, to be honest. I've never done one. Knowing Honda and their engine configurations, it probably will be an engine out job to get to. You might even need the engine out to take the head off. I just don't know, Roger, but brace yourself, because it could be a big job. Sheldon, internally spacer the forks to drop it, or spring length change perhaps. Yeah, that's an option if we need to. I'm hoping these shocks will do the trick. This was like the next easiest task. There isn't a huge amount of travel on the front fork, so I want to try and keep as much as I can, because she's going to be riding on gravel. So we don't want the shocks bottoming out, you know, too much if we can help it, because she rides like a banshee, does Mrs. Mechanic. She should have done motocross when she was younger, but obviously on a kid's motocross bike, but she'd have done really well. Mike Bazansky. She can wear Tool Girl boots. Holy crap! That's a brilliant idea. I'll make sure Mrs. Mechanic has a pair of, in fact, I think she might even have a pair from years ago. A nice pair of leather ladies' motorcycle boots with a proper heel on them, you know. We'll find out. I think there's going to be a video. The plan is we're going to do a video of fitting these shocks, and Mrs. Mechanic can then sit on the bike, and we'll see. More of a fun video than anything else. It won't be particularly technical. I might cover a few aspects of what you need to consider when changing shocks on bikes to try and give it some kind of, you know, technical aspect. Bit of fun, but we'll see. Simon, the monkey bike will do better than a trail bike due to the size being more manageable. I think so. John Nuttall, watch the side stand use as you change them springs, Andy. Yes, very good point. Might need to shorten the side stand to keep the bike stability. Did that on Ben's TT250R. We shortened the stand on that because we lowered that quite a bit. On his WR, it was still okay. No, actually, because it's an aluminium stand on the WR, he did shave a little bit off the foot. and it works fine. But you're quite correct. If you lower the bike, you've got to watch out for your side stand, because some bikes get a little bit teetery if you don't shorten the stand as well. Simon Roll, monkey, yes, monkey. Oh, I see. You put money bike. Yeah. Well, actually, the monkey bike. Whenever I see the monkey bike, I always say monkey, because that's what I call it, monkey. It's one of those things. Jim Haynes, I'm hearing sport at the sprint car races on Virginia at Neutral Bridge Speedway, but hit the like button as always. Good man. Thank you very much. Well, good luck with your sprint car racing. I wish I was there to watch, actually. It'd be quite a good day for that kind of stuff. I feel like I'm going to watch some racing. Sam Roll, I like the TV show Monkey. Maybe that's where it comes from. Monkey! You know, because I used to watch that when I was a kid. That could well be it. Excellent stuff. Right. I think, actually, we're about there. We've got to finish before 2 hours, haven't we? We have to do. Coffee's gone cold. Done the shocks. Done the injector pulse tester. We've done Ivan's, last plug for Ivan now. Done Ivan's in-cylinder pressure tester. Look at that. Very cool. Thank you again, Ivan, for sending that over and for doing me a great price on it as well. Really appreciate it. We're about there, people. We've done the pie review. Wasn't great, in all honesty. We've had a lot better pies than that one. But yeah, that's the way it goes. I've got a bench to clear, and I've got a ton of work to get done today. It's going to be a long day, and I'm going to be feeling it later on because I lost an hour's sleep. Anyway, no more whinging from this pond, that's for sure. Okay, crew, thank you all very much for watching. Really enjoyed today's live stream. It's been great to catch up, and we've talked about all sorts of stuff, including quite a bit of stuff about the Bonnie as well on the day. Oh, we're back. Sorry, we were reconnecting for a second there. All I can say regarding the Bonnie is it's a journey, and we will find what we find. And hopefully sooner rather than later, because I'd love to get that bike back together and get it out of the workshop and back to Alan. It's not going to happen for a few weeks or months, but you know, the sooner the better, really. Yeah, such is life. Okay, crew, thank you all for your comments. Really appreciate it. If you've not hit the like button yet, now is the time. If you want to support the channel, you can do that through Patreon or PayPal. There's links on the YouTube channel, and there's some information down in the comments as well. I will see you all again next Sunday, 8:30 a.m. And it will be really 8:30 a.m. next Sunday. Don't forget the clocks here changed last night in New Zealand. Okay, crew, take care. See you around. Cheers. Over and out.